Hey guys, what's up? What's going on out there this afternoon? Hey, it's Brent Abel here, WebTennis.com. Another episode of the Tennis Mindset Training, Tennis Mental Toughness, a little tough love here and there. A little story I want to share with you guys today. It was kind of a turning point for me in terms of the way I handled a certain situation. And in this particular match that I played, this was back in 2016. So, 8 years ago, almost 8 years ago. And, I was seated, I don't know, seated 3 or 4, something like this. And in the indoors, in, in Minneapolis, in the National 65 indoors. And, I'm playing a guy, Mike Lemens from Denver, Colorado, a good friend of mine, and a guy who's, actually came up with, I've got one right here. I'm not sure you can see this. And it's the, where is it? There we go. It's the fence mount. It's the QM1, the quick mount fence mount for cameras. It's brilliant. And it telescopes down in your tennis bag, and you can use it for your phone. You can use it for GoPro is what I normally have for it. But anyway, so he's the inventor. And if you want one, if you don't have one, man, you need to start doing some video of your matches. Just go to mytennistools.com. Not my website. I got no affiliation with it. So there's no affiliate. But just go on over there, mytennistools.com, and pick up a QM1 and start videotaping your matches and your practice stuff. So, yeah, it was a National 65 indoors. First round match for me. I'm one of the top 3 or 4 seeds. I can't remember exactly what it was. And Mike's a good player. So I knew I was going to have my handful on this day. And I started off well. I started off going up 3-love, and I felt really good. And, first round match usually for me takes a while, to really kind of get into a tournament. And so it's nice sometimes to have a good seed, high seed, because you don't always have to have a brutal, tough first round match. I'm not saying that's a guarantee, but in this case, and I'd never played Mike before, but I knew him, and he came out of the blocks and we got going. I was up 3-love. And the next thing you know is he's won the first set 6-3. He reels off 6 games in a row. And I'm going, all right, well, okay. No big deal. And then I go down a break pretty quickly in the second set. I can't remember exactly. I thought it was 3-love. Maybe he won 9 games in a row, whatever. The point I want to make today is that, and this was in 2016. So what's that? 8 years ago, like I said. I think 8 years ago was really, maybe 9 or 10 years ago, was the first time that I ever really started to not panic if things weren't going my way right out of the block, right? To where, you start a match and you just kind of hope, well, I hope things go well today. And if they don't, what do you do? And I was never very good at that. I was never very, very, very good at knowing what to do if things weren't going well, in terms of kind of panicking, kind of getting pissed off, kind of getting upset, kind of getting angry, kind of making excuses. And I really think this was one of the first matches where I just didn't do that. And I decided when I was down a set and when I was up, down a break, and on paper, I'm supposed to win this match. And I just decided, and this is something that I talked about recently. I said, okay, I'm not quite sure what the answer is here, in terms of, I'm not quite sure what the pattern is here that I should do against Mike. I mean, not only was he playing well, but I would say on some shots I just kind of mis-executed, didn't hit the shot that I normally would. But whatever. I mean, all credit goes to him. And so my thought was, okay, we're not going to panic. We're not going to lose it. We're not going to show him any emotion whatsoever, which is not what I used to do. I used to get good and pissed off. And I just decided right then and there, let's see how long we can keep him out here. All right. Let's see if we can drag this thing out. Let's see if we can really make it a dogfight. Let's see if we can make him win this match, and not by not by, giving away unforced errors because I'm trying to go for winners, whereas you're trying to sort of hit such a good shot that you think, well, I gotta make up for whatever I just screwed up on. So I'm gonna go big here. I just didn't do that. I mean, I used to do it. Didn't work out too well. But on this day, I did not do that. And I just decided, how much time can I legally take between points? How much time can I legally take on the side change? And if he's serving, I'm going to take my time to get ready. And within the rules of the game. I'm not, it's not bad sportsmanship. It's just taking time. And I did so in the point too, right? I made sure that I tried to keep balls as deep as I possibly could, tried to make him want to go for more than maybe what he really felt comfortable with. And the whole thing, and the other strategy was, I think I'm in better shape. I think I'm fitter. So if nothing else, maybe today's that one day that comes along maybe 2 or 3 times a year where, all right, the guy's playing great. You're missing a few, maybe you don't, whatever, but we've got to see if we can just stretch the time out on this thing as long as we possibly can. And so the second set was the dogfight. I mean, I don't know what the time was. I guess we can go back and look at the video, but it took a while. I mean, I was down a break, just barely got it back. And I don't remember the score of the second set, but as I recall, God dang it, was it 7-5? Was it a tiebreaker? Whatever it was, I can't remember. But sure enough, I ended up squeaking out the second set. And the third set just went by like this. All of a sudden, Mike started to miss some balls. All of a sudden, I started to make some balls that I wasn't making before. And I think he'd be the first one to admit that he got a little tired. And so what's the point today? The point today is that if on paper you're supposed to win a match, whether it's in a tournament or whether it's a league, right? Let's say you're a 4-0 and you're playing someone who's got a rating who's 3-5. And yet that 3-5 player, maybe their real rating should be 4-0. And maybe on this day they're having a heck of a day. And yet you're looking at the rating going, hey man, what's going on? This is messed up. I should be beating this guy on paper. Well, just it's not automatic. So my suggestion is when that happens, is when someone that you think you should be beating on paper is winning the match and not only making it close, but is up a set, won the first set, and is up a break in the second. The last thing you want to do is start making excuses. The last thing you want to do is start building a story. I mean, I'll be the first to admit there were times in the past before this match when I played Mike where if in the same situation, I might have started building up a story in my mind, an excuse that if I lost today, well, here was the reason why. And if you can imagine that, when you start building a story for the what if you lose to a guy that you think you should be beating on paper, not really great clarity, not only how to think between points, but also how do you want to start the next point? So I guess the number one thing would be just stretch out the time. Let's see how long you can make the match go, not only between points, but during the points as well. I'm not saying you got to go full on pusher, but you've got to make sure that you're not trying to pull the trigger too early because you think now, well, you have to hit winners to be able to beat this guy who's up a set and a break. And that's probably the way I used to think until this day in Minneapolis in the summer of 2016, National 65. I just decided let's stretch out the time, and it worked. It just flat out worked. So there you have it. That was really kind of a turning point for me, a great learning experience. And I think ever since then, I remember this year I played the semis of the clay courts in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and the guy was playing, Tom Walker, couldn't miss a ball. I mean, I could hit the best shot of my life, and next thing I know is, well, there goes another line he's cleaning, right? And on paper, I was supposed to win that match. But I think because of this experience 8 years ago, that, when I played the clay courts, that would have been 7 years ago. I just hung in there. And I think that we have to do that. We have to trust that if you don't panic and you don't try to start winning the points outright because you fear the guys could hit yet another winner. My thought on that day recently, well, not in this match, but on the one in Virginia Beach last year was, look, all I can do now is try to stretch out the time in the match. If he keeps hitting winners, man, my hat's off to him. There's nothing I can really do about it. I mean, I did everything I knew in terms of different shot patterns, different shot choices, trying to stretch out the time. And look, he was serving for this. He was serving for the first set at 5-4 add in. I got lucky on a return to serve up the line. He took me out wide. And then he got another set point. He double faulted there. And then I squeaked that one out 7-5. And it was just really more thinking, just hang in there. Just stay there. Look, that's such an intangible message that I'm giving you. But it just is, it's not a guarantee, but it just gives you the best opportunity, I think, to possibly get the win. The other way is to get ticked off, to start thinking, well, I'm going to build an excuse if I lose the match, and I'm going to start trying to go for big shots and big winners so that I can take charge of the match. And, lots of times that's just, at least it never happened for me. I've just always found if I've been down the match, something happens. If I end up winning it, not saying it's a guarantee, but if I end up winning it, you got to make that opponent participate in contributing some wins. So, Dan, good to see you, man. Any idea what opponent's mindset was during and after the match? Yeah, I've talked to Mike about this match that we're looking at, the picture here. And I think he had a couple of thoughts. When he got ahead in that second set was, I didn't expect this. I mean, this was like, here he is, an unseeded player, but a good player. And, first round, and he probably showed up thinking this draw kind of sucks, but I'm going to go for it. I got nothing to lose. And the next thing you know, he's up a set. He's up a break in the second. And I think Mike would probably admit to saying, you know what, I started thinking about it. I just started thinking about that. And then the second set becomes a dogfight. He misses a few balls. And the next thing you know is I think he'd also say, I got a little tired. So after the match, I don't remember if Mike and I ever talked about like a month after what he would do different. I think what he would tell you is he would have just kept working, right? Some of that's fitness. Some of that's fitness related, meaning that, who was it? Jimmy Johnson, the Dallas Cowboys had that quote, says something about, I don't know, all great players become cowards when they get tired. I can't remember. I just totally butchered the thing. But it's true. I think any great player, not putting myself in that category, but any player and any great player, if you can get them really tired, it's their thinking just changes. And I think Mike would be the first one to admit that, yeah, he got a little tired, and his takeaway was, I got to get in better shape. If I'm going to play these guys, I got to get in better shape, because he had the realization, I can play with these guys for a set and a half. And the next thing you know is, and then maybe starts to hit the wall. So yeah, maybe the message today should be, get your butt in shape. It's such a controllable. And even if you feel like you're in great shape right now, are you in great shape for tennis? And what that means is that, are you playing enough tournaments? Are you playing enough league matches? Are you playing enough matches where the result is made public? Because I think it was yesterday when I talked about, in a practice match, we bring such a lower level of stress than we do in the real deal, in the real match. And so if you're in great shape in a practice match and you're not playing many tournaments or not playing many matches that are made public, when you go out there to do that, that stress level goes up. And whatever shape you think you're in for a practice match, it may not hold up in the real deal. So just because of the mind, just because we bring tension, we bring stress, we get a little nervous, we get a little tight, and that just burns fuel. That burns physical fuel. So yeah, I mean, in terms of what Mike would probably say at the end of the match is, all right, I got to play more tournaments, and I got to do some things that are more appropriate for tennis in terms of fitness. Yeah, for me, it's sprints, right? For me, it's a lot of sprints, um, a lot of those kind of. I'm not sure what the. I see Marty's here. Hey, Marty, thanks for the Vince Lombardi thing. Our good friend Jeff Jackledge, he kind of turned me on to that thick kind of elastic band that you put around your knees, and you know you hold one leg in one place, and then you really stretch out sideways with the other one, and then you bring that stationary leg in, and you do it again. I think they're called maybe monsters or something like that. Anyway, for me, I just found those really help too. Squats are incredible. Lunges, I do a lot of volley lunges. Um, and I do some stuff on the bike. I just do that more to sweat. That's more of a cardio sweating type thing. But I think in the long run, it's a combination of desensitizing yourself to the nerves or the stress by playing a lot of events. I think too often what I used to do in the past is I would cherry pick what event I was going to play. I'd I'd go, well, look, I'm not going to play that tournament because whatever. Either I just don't feel ready, or I don't like that surface, or got bad memories over there. I played a guy over there and lost, whatever. So I think, and I think you really have got to go out there and play as many events, put them in your calendar as possible. I know a lot of guys are working, a lot of guys are raising families. Look, when I was younger, from 40 until literally maybe 60 years old, I mean, here I am, I'm working. I'm raising the family, three daughters. And so there's not a lot of time for it. So I get it. I get it. But if you can, and then I guess you have to have a supportive spouse, but man, you got to play a lot. You got to play a lot. I think you got to play a lot of practice sets as well against different opponents, different venues. I mean, if you can find someone who's, I think you got to find other people that don't play at your club. And look, I mean, there are a couple guys where I would go to public parks, so I would get out of the comfy confines of the Berkeley Tennis Club, which is my club that I grew up at. Playing the same guys at noon every day, Monday through Friday, and then something on Saturday, and you just get so comfortable against the same, the same venue, same place. The better way to do it is to find a guy who you guys will do a home and home, right? You invite him over, play a match, and play 3 sets. Even if if one of you guys wins the first 2 sets, play a third, and then you go over the next week to that guy's place. And like I said, I mean, I went to some public parks where, and I'm not dissing public parks. I'm just saying it's different, right? I mean, some chain link fence nets. All right, that's cool. Some really dirty courts that haven't been resurfaced in years. That stuff is so good for your game. It's incredible. And so, anyway, I've gotten way off topic. Yeah. Way to go, Dan. Way to start me on this, man. Anyway, so guys, hope this has been helpful today. Any questions, any comments, feedback, remarks down below in the comments area, let me know. You can always shoot me an email, brent@webtennis.com. And let's see what else we got here. Yeah, if you love this stuff, click the like, please subscribe, hit that notification bell. And look, speaking of practice, I've got some practice t-shirts I've designed. I know they could be a little more artsy fartsy, but I mean, I just figuring let's go minimalist with the practice session the way I do it anyway. Go over to webtennisgear.com and pick up a shirt or two. There's a bunch of different styles over there. Contribute to the cause. That would be great. So look, guys, part of what we talked about today is this mental thing about how do you handle this situation. And really for me over the last 15 months, winning 9 national titles in 15 months as opposed to 11 over 40 years. And now at 20, there's something super different about mindset, skill, habits. And I really encourage you to take a look at this course that I put together that made a huge difference for me. It just did. And I was really in denial about, I was never in denial about the need for mindset training, and the whole term mental toughness was always a little strange for me. But and I was not in denial in terms of, I knew it was important. I knew the mental game was important, but I just thought I could out train it, out physically train it. I could out drill, being more in the gym, do more running. I remember when I was at the Berkeley Tennis Club, 30 years ago. I can't do it now, but I'd go play my tennis over there, and then go to the locker, put on the running shoes, and run the 1 mile from the Berkeley Tennis Club over to Memorial Stadium at Cal. And back then, the gates would be wide open during the week, and you just run in, and a classic football only stadium, 75 rows from the bottom to the top. And I'd work my way around the sections, going up, coming back down the stairs. And you'd go down the west side, or you'd come over to the west side, you'd come up to the very top, and you'd overlook, and there'd be Berkeley and the San Francisco Bay and the Golden Gate Bridge. And I was just thinking, oh my God, no one else is doing this today. So that to me was my form of mental toughness, was just out training everybody. Made me a little bit better, but it never really got me past to what I've done in the last 15 months. And so I highly encourage you, if you haven't already done so, go take a look at this. It's over at webtennis.com/SLR5 habits. And if you will go through the 28 days, I flat out promise, guarantee, lockdown, you're going to be a different player. So any questions on that, give me an email as well, or shoot me an email as well, brent@webtennis.com. All right, guys, that's it for me today. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope this has been helpful. As always, right now, it's time. We got to get out there. We got to help someone else have a great day. Boys and girls, see you again next time.